This is a response to Community Channel's Irrational Fear video. And let me just tell you, Natalie, compared to my fear, your fear is nothing. So here we go. My irrational fear is the universe. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy. And on the other hand, I'm completely fascinated by space. I would totally become an astronaut if not for the fact that I am afraid I would fall off the moon. I know it is impossible, but I'm still afraid that if I jumped on the moon, like if I went to the moon and I jumped on it, I would fall off. I am completely fine with staying on a little planet. I do not want to go to the moon, I don't want to go to the Mars, I don't want to go to the space station, I don't even want to leave the troposphere. Wait, do airplanes leave the troposphere? Because they do. That's the only reason I'm really leaving the troposphere. But here's the other scary thing. The Earth is a small place. Let's pretend for 1 minute that this is the Earth. I was going to use a marble, but I couldn't find one. Anyways, this is the Earth. And the actual Earth, the planet we live on, is the universe. And the population of Earth represents the Big Bang, as in it keeps growing. Okay, now think about this. The Earth can't actually expand, but the population of Earth can. So the population is going to represent the expansion of the universe. Now, if this is the Earth, and the population of this planet represents the universe, it's getting bigger every second. Another person is born every 11 seconds. So, basically, this is becoming smaller every second. That's the same thing with the universe. Our tiny little planet is becoming tinier because the universe expands every single second. Now, that's quite scary, considering we're this small and the universe is that big. That is another scary thing. I'm very afraid of big, wide, open spaces. I'm afraid of the ocean. Not like entirely, but especially at night. Let me tell you something. When I was at Catalina, I went on a night dive. It was very dark, and I could only see 5 feet in front of me. And we're in 40 feet deep water here. Oh, and another thing. In the ocean, there's a thing called kelp. I'm mildly afraid of kelp as well. And when you can't see where you're going and you run into kelp, it feels like you're being strangled by a squid or an octopus. So it's quite scary. Anyways, back to space. So as I was saying, wide open spaces, very scary, and it's expanding every second. So that's something to be afraid of. And also in the universe, there's this thing called a black hole that sucks everything into it, and not even light can escape. And just to let you know, there is one in the very center of our galaxy. That's quite scary. It's not even a different galaxy, or even a different cluster or anything. And the universe is bigger than we may have thought. There isn't just one galaxy that we live in. There's a billion galaxies. And not only are there galaxies, there are also clusters. And each cluster contains about 10 million galaxies. I don't even know how many clusters there are, but from something I read, there's like 100 something. I don't really know, but we live in one cluster called the local cluster, and it is quite huge. And there are like 5 others near it, and those are quite huge as well. Get my point? It's a big place, and we're small people. This is our little planet, and the population of Earth represents the universe. Right now, another person's being born, and another 11 seconds will pass, another person will be born. That represents the expansion of the universe. It's quite huge. Also, another thing that even exists inside our solar system are these things called asteroids. And they're very near, right between Mars and Jupiter. And sometimes the asteroids get out of orbit and suddenly zoom towards something. Oh yeah, it could go to the sun, or it could crash into the Earth and we could all die. I'm probably scaring you guys right now, but it's just something I have a lot of time to think about. It's very scary. And there's also these things called supernovas. I actually have no idea what they are, but I do know that they are quite scary, big explosion thingy, but yes. I didn't know what it was at one point, but then all I remember was the fear and not what it was. I'll look it up later. I'm brushing my hair. Don't ignore. Okay. Anyways, and there's also this thing called stars exploding. Now, don't worry, the sun, our beloved sun, will not explode. It will just expand and then die. Oh, and by the way, if you watch the Naked Science show, I know everything that's going to happen to the Earth in our future. In 1.2 billion years, the oceans are going to dry up and the Earth is no longer able to sustain life. And then 6 billion years after that, the sun's going to expand and dry up and kill and set aflame our beautiful planet. And then our planet will be turned to dust. And then eventually be formed back into a planet and things will start all over again. Yes, it's quite an interesting story, I think. Oh wow, it's quite scary. Okay. Glad you seem to think from my perspective now. Now, for some of you may find it of yourself a different perspective of the universe. Others may think I'm crazy. Yeah, I'm like you, Natalie. I think this makes total sense in my mind. And some of my friends who are also crazy who have seen my videos think it makes sense, but you've seen how they think. Yeah. But hopefully this has changed people's mind about space traveling. It's a dangerous job. And if you read A Wrinkle in Time, you'll understand why. No, just kidding. That can never happen. Tesseract. I really have no idea what it is. But yeah, I just wanted to state that. And don't worry, Natalie. You're not alone in thinking that only irrational fear makes sense only to you. Yes, bye! One last thing. Let me show you my little theory about the moon. This is the moon. It looks backwards, but whatever. This represents a normal astronaut, like Neil Armstrong. And this represents me. Okay, look at this is what a normal astronaut would do on the moon. And this is what I would do on the moon.